Welcome back, guys. We got a video today to assemble this Mainstays Sumpter park desk. My wife ordered this from Walmart.com just to supplement her work at home. She does from time to time. She don't need nothing major, nothing big. She gave like 50 bucks for it, that including shipping. So, and I would imagine to ship that probably going to look about 40 bucks. So, can't expect a whole lot, but we're going to check it out, see what you get, what you pay for. And we're going to do an assembly on how to put it together. Hopefully, we'll see how it goes. Let's go ahead and open it up. Alright, it doesn't look like the box is taped or anything. It's just glued. Should open from the front. This room that I'm in, it's the old spare bedroom. The lighting is not the best in the world in here, so I have some extra lighting, which is it's casting some shadows. Just try to ignore them. I'm telling you, this is some good cardboard. I recommend a box cutter of some sort. After you get started, just be super careful. You don't want to scratch anything on the inside. And here we have some styrofoam. Man, I really hate this stuff. It's a pain to dispose of. Got our papers, Mainstays Sumpter park desk. Should be all the assembly instructions. We'll go through all that step by step. I was going to make a quick video on this, but this might be a little bit more lengthy. Just bear with me, because this is the first time I'm doing it too, as I'm going through showing you. I'll cut out the nonsense though, make it more bearable. Okay, E, C, and D. Let's go ahead and get these legs out of the way. I have a B. Well, that's actually quite thick. Alright, I think I got my orientation set right. Now, when it comes to hammers on these, if possible, use a rubber mallet, because you are going to be hitting pressed wood. It's not that durable. Where if all you have is a metal hammer, you can just lay something on it and tap it real easy. Or if you have built-in hammers, you can always Judy chop them. But here's what I use for my screwdriver. It basically took the place of all kinds of stuff. Taking the 4-way. I think I got a flathead. Pull it in, out, and it changes. Mom got me that for Christmas 10, 12 years ago, and that's all I use anymore. Alright, get our instructions. Let me zoom this down a little bit. Alright, we want E. I'd imagine it's this. If it looks right. Yes, we have our 2 cam bolts. We'll turn it the way the paper is. C and a D. We'll go ahead and do the prep work with the dowels first. You know what? A lot of these, you probably don't even need the hammer at first, not until you're actually fitting the pieces together. So we got that. We'll look at the orientation that shows on the paper. It makes things much simpler. You'll see right here, these are for your hand bolts, these holes. So you want to go to the inner holes. They'll basically line up with the one on the other side. Alright, now we're going to get some cams. If you can see if that'll focus on that. Not all that well. There we go. Now you see right here up at the top, the plus and the minus. It's this line in between those that will be facing towards the hole. There's our hole. We're going to make sure we get that lined up just right. And it'll just set down in there. The hole, the plus and the minus. Alright, that has our number 1. Now we're moving on to number 2. We're going to set these pieces aside. Get out a big flat piece labeled A, and we're going to go ahead and set our cam bolts into the corresponding locations. Lay it out the way it is on the paper. Facing this way. You can tell the size of these cam bolts. There's only certain holes that's even going to be big enough or small enough actually for them to go into. But when it's laid out right on the floor orientation, you can look. We're going to go with the too far on the main end, and we'll go ahead and get these cam bolts put in. They're a simple screw-in design, and this is where your screwdriver comes in handy. So alright, now unscrewing these in, it's not that hard, not that bad. You'll know when you get to the limit. It's basically seated. Just snug it up real good. You don't have to turn green and use everything in you. Alright, that's going to complete step 2. Let's move on to step 3. This one's real simple. We're going to go ahead and use our B. Where did I just? Yeah. We're going to use our B, which is the same size as the A. It's just the either the top or the bottom part. I don't know yet. Let's move A out of the way for now. Once again, we're going to lay this one out in the same orientation as what's on our instruction sheet. With these, we're going to use the 4 nuts. Okay. Now, when we put these nuts in, there's only going to be one hole facing the edge of the panel. Make sure your nuts face the edge of the panel. I'm going to put it in this hole right here. Our hole is right here. Place the hole towards the edge. You can tell which way the hole is facing because it goes adjacent with the mark, the Phillips or the flathead screw. Alright, we're done with step 3. We're going to number 4. Alright, so now we're going to get our A right here, and we're going to get the C, D, and E. Now this is our E, and it can only go on there one way as long as your cam bolts are on the inside. So we'll set this down. Line it up. Try to keep it centered without binding it. And there it goes. It just sets right down in. Now our cam bolt right here. We're going to turn it, and you'll feel it grab that bolt and really lock itself into that. There we go. There's our E attached. Now we need to do our C and D. Going back here, apparently in step 1, yeah, see? I didn't see that. In step 1 we have 2 C boards. We need to go ahead and put both of them together because we use them both in step 4. So let me get that other C board and get it ready. Now make sure your finished edge is facing on this end, not on the end where the E board is at, but on the opposite end of E. Your cam locks will be facing towards the inside. Now tightening up these cam locks, it might be easier if you have a smaller Phillips head screwdriver to use a flat one too, because it will accommodate both. Just sets right down on the cam bolts. Tighten them up. Your cam bolts will go on the inside, the finished side facing away from E. Okay, Now we have this part done, everything connected to A. We're going to set B on top. Here is our B. Now it's easiest to tell from looking at it which side goes where. You want the sides right here, because you have your dowels that we placed in will be going into those holes. So it'll really only go on one way, and that way is like this. Sits right down. Very nice. Now we're going to, this is where we're going to put some screws in. These are the number 4. We're going to place them in all the other holes that's been marked. Alright, there we have it. We are now done with number 5. We're moving on to 6. We're going to go ahead and put our legs on. Actually, we're going to put it together first, looks like. So we're going to need both our legs and the long middle piece. Both of the legs are labeled F, so they should be symmetrical. They should be the same piece. Doesn't matter what side goes where. Now, looking at our instructions, we're going to lay our legs out, and let's see. Okay. Okay. We're going to lay our legs out with a cap facing towards us or away, ever how you are. But anyway, I'll show you what I mean. Okay. The way the legs are facing, cap on the bottom, this will go on the bottom where the cap is at, down here. It'll connect on to one and then onto the other. I'm going to need more room. To connect them, we need 2 number 2s and 2 number 8 washers. And our Allen key. Our bolt and our washer. Then it will go through the leg. Let me move this one out of the way. We'll go ahead and get one to make it easier. The bolt will go through the leg, and we'll line it up with that. So a little pressure to turn it. Go ahead and use your Allen key. Be careful to do it, not to strip it, but you probably have to put a lot of force on it to strip it with this little tool. Make sure it stays squared. I'm off square a little bit. There we go. And just give it a good crank. You can get that real snug. This side will be the same way. Caps on the bottom part. So now our bottom part assembly has been assembled. Our top has been assembled. The next part, we're going to lay this on the bottom. We're basically going to put it together upside down. So we want the B board facing up towards us. Okay, This is B, it's facing up. This is actually going to be the bottom of the desk. This is your top. But anyway, we're going to put the bottom down. And since you're going to be setting on this side, you'll want this bar in the back because you're going to be setting from this end. My dog's over there on the bed cleaning herself. For this step, we'll need the 4 long bolts. They will go in the bottom part right here to screw into the nuts that we installed earlier. So we'll do those first. I'd say you're just going to have to feel it around till you get it right. Just kind of move it around, wiggle, and there we go. We got a bite. Once you get one lined up on one side, the other one should be easier. And actually I need to pull it back out. Make sure those nuts, make sure they're seated down real good, or the bolt will just go right under them. There we go. Let's tighten that up. And also on the bottom right here, we'll need the remainder of the number 2 screws. There should be 4 left. You're going to have 2 per side. So just feel it around until you get a bite. Then we do the other side. Alright guys, now we have that done. The next step is to flip it over. Alright, now what we have left to do is, this is just cosmetic. It gives you these little caps for on the inside where those cam bolts were, to just pop in those holes and cover them up. Alright guys, there we have it. It is complete, and for the price, for what it is, it's sturdy. It seems good. It's got the extra support here in the middle, so you don't have to worry about that sagging. It's very well supported from the sides. I mean, you have basically 8 points of contact holding this up. So I hope you guys found this helpful. This is the Mainstays Sumpter Park desk. It's probably backwards on your screen, but pretty simple to put together. Real sturdy, and for $50 with free shipping, it's great.